Well, hi, we're here again to look at another HAIBOXING truck. We just got this one in today, or actually yesterday. It is the updated version of the Rampage. So, kind of curious to check this one out, see what the differences are, and give it a test drive here in a little bit. We got some manuals, sticker sheets. Ooh, nice colors. Packaging is actually a little easier to deal with this time. Get that out of the way. Got the truck. Looks like we've had some upgrades here. So new chassis right off the bat. I can see the new wheel design. Of course, it still has its differentials. LEDs are actually already pre-installed, which is a nice little feature. Some nice pull tabs for these body pins, and if you've already had any experience with these little micro pins, they are a bugger. So this is actually a really nice feature to have. As always, got the warning about the protection on the cover. And yeah, we'll look at the rest of that in just a second. Let's finish the unboxing. New transmitter. Feels pretty much just like the older ones. Nice detail where it's now a steering wheel instead of a wheel. Throw some batteries in that in a bit. All right, got looks like a LiPo battery this time with some beam connectors. Open that up. Time for a new blade. Oh, cool! Got another package of body pins. Nice little LiPo battery. This is a 850 milliamp battery. Should give us a little bit of fun time on that. And then we got the charger for USB. I've got my own little peak charger, so I just kind of toss it aside. But yeah, let's take a look at the truck. Oh, that's so much nicer. So much nicer. Bodies again, really good plastic, something durable, what I would expect for any kind of hobby grade car. Paint job's kind of cool. Definitely like the color. But look, oh, hello! We have a second battery. That's a nice way to start off this thing. Now I thought there was 2 batteries included in this pack, but I wasn't sure. But yes, this one actually came with a second battery, so no. One's charging, one's running, I guess. Very cool. So first impressions, definitely looks like I said, they've had some improvements done on this car. At least as far as having everything kind of already pre-assembled. It's nice to see they actually have metal dog bones in here now, which I'll still probably upgrade to the CV diffs, but I'm definitely going to give this thing a try just as it is, just to see how well it works. Next thing that's just really nice to see is the fact that they put a battery strap in here as opposed to the hard plastic like they did in the other Rampage. So that's nice, just to not have to deal with that another body pin, and you know, especially if you switched up to a slightly different battery pack, it's nice to have some flexibility in the design. Warning label to say don't touch a hot motor. I would definitely agree with that. Some of the other features, looks like they've redesigned is the bumper. They've actually added an additional piece of reinforcement up front here in the bumper. So you've got the plastic that jettisons out like that, but then there's actually kind of a spring cushion plastic piece right there to help absorb some of that impact, which is very unique. I think that's the first time I'm seeing that. I haven't seen some of the more modern trucks, but that's a first for me. A lot of this stuff looks very familiar. Obviously, the way they have the servo set up, still very smooth. Looks like these are mostly plastic parts in here, even the ball joints are still metal. Good. Looks like it still has coilover shocks. The only difference, the coilover shocks, they're Excuse me, they're not oil filled. I don't think these are oil filled. But they do have a nice little feature where they actually added a spring tension collet in here. So you can actually adjust the spring tension on these, which if you're doing a lot of hard jumps, it would definitely be nice to have a little stiffer springs. But I think, again, I will soon be switching these over to oil-filled shocks just because I know they perform so much better. And I can tell you, on the last rampage that I ran, putting the oil-filled shocks definitely made all the difference in the world when it came to how well this thing jumped and how it performed overall. So, granted, there's no battery in that, but definitely got to tighten up the springs in the back a little bit just right off the bat, just because she bottomed out pretty quickly. Throw a battery in here. It's interesting that they're switching over to they're getting away from the JST connectors and moving over to Dean's connectors. My only thought is because all my other hobby stuff actually runs a different connector. I'll be probably switching those out to XT, would be the XT30s, I think. So a little bit like the XT60, only smaller. But yeah, really nice old truck here. Definitely looks like a good buy. I like the new profile of the tires. These are a little bit better than the ones that I've seen before on the other HBX. These little knobs look a little more aggressive, like they've actually got a lot more grip, which would probably be the one thing I would say about the other Rampage was just, I wish they had a different tire profile, and I think these are going to be a better one. They're kind of neat because they got like more of a low profile design on them. The rims or mags, just to say, are definitely a little nicer. Looks like they have just another Phillips head or a small hex drive if you can find one that's small enough for that, but I think probably going to switch those out again to the nut. Nut for those instead of the ball, because when I switch over to the CV diffs, it makes it a lot easier to manage and a lot more reliable. Dog bones will pop out eventually, but CVs don't. A lot of different design. The A-arms, the A-arms on the front and the back are definitely redesigned. They look like they're a lot more stiff. And they still got some pliability to them, but this was definitely a rethought out design overall. It looks like it's been pretty well thought out. Got some different locations you can put your shocks in. You can still adjust the body height, which is pretty standard on the rest of them. Yeah, looks like the same motor, same heat sink. Definitely a new upgraded receiver. So I'd be kind of curious to see how that works. And it looks like an ESC combo. Other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot else to go over on this one. So it's time to set this bad boy up, get it on the track. And I got to tell you, once again, these pulls on these body pins, oh my gosh, what a difference. So freaking cool. All right, well, we will call it a day for that. That is the new truck from HAIBOXING. Number on this bad boy, the 18859 from HAIBOXING. Right, so after I had a chance to actually run this truck, I actually had a few more final thoughts on this thing. One, I was really impressed with the fact that they seemed to lower the center of gravity, which made the truck very difficult to try to flip. So whereas before I would take it off a jump or take a nice real tight turn, this thing would, the original Rampage had a tendency to kind of flip on it. This one, it feels like they actually lowered the center of gravity, so it makes it, again, very much more difficult because they've also widened the wheelbase, it feels like, a little bit. But overall, I was really impressed with the way this thing handled. It took a beating. I was able to have no problems with the jumps. It handled tall grass and leaves with no trouble whatsoever. I was actually really surprised at how well the stock shocks actually seem to work. I mean, yeah, I believe the oil fills will still do better, but having those, the way they redesigned the shocks, they actually seem to work fairly decently right off the bat. So kudos to HAIBOXING for thinking that through. I did wind up taking a couple of hard hits with this thing. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it all on film. So yeah, this thing is just awesome. Had a really fun time driving this truck. We ran a couple battery packs through it. Drove my dogs absolutely insane. And as I know from previous HAIBOXING trucks, that these things will take a beating. So I know I'm perfectly safe to give this to my dog and watch them tear into it, and they'll still be around to have some fun later on. One little feature I did notice at the very end of this first pack was that the lights actually blink when the battery has hit its final peak, where it's no longer valid or usable, I guess. So it seems to have an internal voltage sensor, which is a really, really nice little feature. And the lights will actually blink a couple of times here at the very end. I don't know if you stick around to see it, but it's a really nice idea that you don't have to worry about undercharging your batteries, provided that you don't continue to push it past that point. Just once that battery hits that point and blinks at you, just go ahead and turn it off and get ready for another battery pack. Remember, you got 2 to play with, so use them. The other thing I will notice, and just didn't mention in the review because I've already talked about this in other review, but the fact is that they still have a slow and normal speed on top of the transmitter. So this means that if I click on the slow and I'm just beginning out, I just want to get a feel for how this thing kind of moves around, or if I've never driven a car before, it's a great option to have. Just click that on the slow and you'll notice that it tends to drive a lot slower, a lot more manageable, especially for somebody who's just learning how to drive. But then once you kick it off to normal, man, it makes a big difference. And right there you see the lights blinking, so that's a great indicator. So again, the LEDs actually have a purpose. Hope you enjoyed.
Hey guys, so I got something interesting today. Picked this up on Amazon. This is a race truck from HAIBOXING. It's a 1/18 scale 4x4 RC truck ready to run, and we're going to do a little testing with this, and we'll kind of give you a rundown on everything that comes in the box. I've already got it out. I've already ran it a little bit. But I'll give you a rundown of everything that comes in the box and a little bit about the truck. So get the truck in here first. So here's the truck. This is what you're most interested in seeing, I think. It's pretty nice. Nice, cool orange color. 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel independent suspension. Comes with everything that you need to run it, other than 2 AA batteries for the controller. So we'll go into the controller in just a second. So truck's pretty nice. They got real nice little body clips there that are real easy to get on and off. Here's the inside. It's brushed. It's not brushless, but it runs really nice. So you can see the receiver and speed controller and all that stuff. There's the motor. I think it's like a 380 size motor. It's got 4-wheel independent suspension. These are not oil-filled shocks, but you can upgrade them, and I would recommend it if you want it to run better to upgrade them, because it's a little bit bouncy with the default shocks. Let's see. Oh, and it has 2 headlights, which we'll see in a minute whenever I hook everything up. They're pretty bright and really cool when you're driving at like dusk or real early in the morning or even at night, though it can be a little hard to see the truck at night, you know, depending on your conditions, but at dusk it's really nice. So we're going to get this back together and we're going to run it. A couple of things comes with. Comes with 2 of these. These are 2-cell. They're 850 milliamps. I'm not sure on the runtime, more than 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes or so of runtime. I'll give you the numbers. I'll put those on the screen here when I give you a good test of this, so we'll know exactly how long the runtime is. Charging with the default charger that it comes with. Get that out of here. Takes about 2 hours, I think. I would recommend getting a good hobby grade charger if you're going to be, you know, doing this stuff regularly, because then you can charge them much quicker. Like I charged them in like 30 minutes. So So nice instruction manual with a complete breakdown on everything, parts, all that kind of stuff. You can order replacements, do all that stuff. Gives you really good stuff if you're a beginner. Really nice, so very useful. There's the other battery, and there's the charger, and it comes with an extra set of body clips in there, which are nice because you can't lose those things. So these are pretty nice here with the little handles on them. I like that a lot. It's a nice touch from the other ones that I've got from HAIBOXING. So let's get the battery in this thing and let's go drive it around. I'm gonna let my wife drive it some. She's a newbie. She's not very good at driving these things, so it should be fun to see. The controller, you can do this right-handed or you can do this left-handed. It's got a reverse here, so if you're left-handed you can make it feel normal if you're holding it that way. And it's got 2 speeds, high and low. We'll put it down in low mode for my wife, for her to start out with so she can drive it properly.
Yay.
And then it's got like steering servo adjustment there to help make it track straight. That's the only thing that I noticed when I tested this yesterday on pavement. In the high speed mode, when you really punch the throttle, it got a little, not squirrely as far as losing control, but it caused it to want to drift to one side or the other. It just kind of varied. So that was about the only drawback. I think that's mostly because it's pulling really quick on that. But if you kind of eased into the throttle and didn't like punch it, you didn't really have that problem. But that might be fixed by changing the suspension because it would tighten it up a little bit and make it a little better. But let's go ahead and get the battery in this thing and test it out and let y'all see it in action. Drove it around a little bit. Y'all saw it driving around. It's a whole lot of fun. It's fast. Definitely a good little truck. I don't know, the price might be a little bit high for it, but it's pretty well made, and you got plenty of spare parts, and the company is really easy to work with and contact and get all your stuff that you need from them. Really good customer support. So definitely recommend it. A whole lot of fun. If you're looking to get into doing a little bit of RC trucks or whatever, this is definitely a cool way of doing it. It's small, you can run it pretty much anywhere. It's a little squirrely, it's a little fast, but it's definitely controllable, a whole lot of fun. So you guys have a great day, and you should go pick one of these up. See ya.
Hi everyone. Today we've got the HAIBOXING 18859 race truck, and let's see what comes inside. Instruction manual. Warranty card looks like. Stickers. The truck. And under here we have the transmitter And our accessories. Charger, battery, body clips, and I believe there is another battery in here. Yes, so it comes with 2 batteries. So the only thing you'll need to supply are 2 AA batteries for the transmitter. Let's take a closer look at the transmitter. You will need to supply your own AA batteries, 2 of them. On-off switch, steering, steering trim, throttle forward and back, steering reverse, and this is a slow and normal speed. So if you're new to RC, put it in the slow mode. That'll reduce your top speed. But if you know what you're doing, just put it in normal mode. Battery is charged and plugged in. Turn on your transmitter. There's a red blinking light up there. Turn on the truck. Hold the button in. And that red blinking light will go solid once it's connected. Let's go play. HAIBOXING 18859. I've got a few battery packs through it, bashed it around, and still going strong. Fun little truck.
So lots of fun. We've driven it in the dark. We took it on a long walk around the neighborhood, and it is fall time here. And so drove it through wet grass, wet leaves, through puddles, and like I said, it's gone off the stairs and other things. And so absolutely no issues. Really fun to drive. Has a lot of zip to it, and got it out there. We had a friend drive another car next to it, and no disruption in the signal, which is great. And we could drive it at least, I don't know, 200 feet away and still control it. No loss of signal or anything. So far so good. Really happy. We're 2 weeks in, and would definitely recommend it, and would be happy to buy it again.
Somebody lost a baseball. I'm going to give you a video on the props to HAIBOXING for their packaging. There's 3 tapes that you'll have to cut when you get the truck. They'll open up pretty simple. Slide it out of the box. You got these 2 things that come off, and the truck will just come right out. There's no zip ties, nothing holding it in. Then you open up the bottom part of the box, and you'll find your controller, and I've already opened this, but otherwise you'd have, there'd be a book underneath here, an extra battery, extra body clips, and the charger for the battery. But I'm still giving props to HAIBOXING because this was one of the best packagings I've ever opened.
Oh no.
para allá.
Dog got a hold of it. But I ordered a new body, and this thing is as tough as a coffin nail. Yeah, this dog right here. But I ordered a new body, and I just got this thing like an hour ago, and this thing, I crashed the hell out of it and beat the hell out. Dude, this thing is a monster. It's amazing.
3, 2, 1, go!